from sponsoring academic research. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and judges. I'm really delighted today that I have a chance to present for the topic of we should prohibit corporation from sponsoring academic research. As you have known, education is a really important point in every country, every citizen, and every people in the world. Imagine that if there is no information updated about the education in a country, how can the student in a country will be learned? Imagine that if there is no researching document to be collected in the library, or there is no researching any document related to the history or something like that, and how can the student supposed to learn? Education is the most important point to develop the student, to develop the person, and even to develop the country. Ladies and gentlemen, academic research is not subject that it is the subject that related to interest of the mind rather than technical or practical subject such as history. So if there is no researching document related to the history clearly, so how can the teacher prepare their document for students to learn? And then how can the student learn about the subject that they want to? So today, I am disagree with the topic that I got, and I have raised up with two reasons. First is decrease on the quality of education. When there is decrease of quality of education, you will, in the country, there will be lack of human resource. You will be lack of the workforce, and there is a big impact to the investment in the country. Why did I say like this? Because if there is no information or researching document access for the students, and how can they do a research on the subject that they are wanting, and how can they solve the problem that they are facing? And number two is, when the student, example like they want to know what is the history of Angkor Wat, who was the one who built it, and there is no any researching document related to it. So how can people learn? And how can they spread this out to everyone around the world to know about Cambodia? Thus, when there is no researching document, when there is no sponsoring even for the lecturer, they don't have enough resource to teach. They don't have enough money or enough budget to sponsor for their project researching. And so the teaching capacity is also low, and the student learning capacity is also low. So how can you expect from the education in that country? The education in the country is also getting low and lower. The second reason is the country will lose a golden opportunities. So what is the golden opportunities? Golden opportunity meaning that this is the opportunity that the country can develop itself, and the country will have enough workforce of their human resource which they can attract more investors to come to the country. So if there is not enough labor force, so how can the investment or how can the foreigner business people come to invest in the country? So that the country will lose the opportunity of gaining the GDP. Gaining the GDP meaning that the country cannot have the increase or the growth of economy. So they cannot develop themselves to be a modern country, to be the update one, because they still cannot consider to sponsoring the academic research. Imagine if foreigner investor they want to invest in Cambodia, but our education is so low. There is no researching academic in our country. So how can those people come to invest in our country, come to put their money into our country? Because we don't have enough workforce, we don't have enough human resource for them. So how can they invest their money? So this is also the impact to the country, because we don't have the investment increase in the country, we don't have enough workforce in the country, we cannot build more business or investment in the country. So our economy will be bankrupt or will be lower and lower, and also the GDP will be decreased, and there is nothing to compete with the other country. All in all, academic researching is really important. because everyone needs education. People without education is like a people who just live in a forest without knowing anything. And people cannot be like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to go to Robert Jerkis for asking a question.
Hi, Morokot.
Hello, thank you.
So, for example, if a fast food chain sponsors academic research into diet, how can we be sure that the results are accurate and not to the advantage of the sponsor?
Can you, pardon? I want to know about the question.
Okay, so we're talking about corporations sponsoring academic research.
Yes.
So, for example, if a fast food chain like, say, KFC, sponsored academic research into diet, people's diets, how can we be sure that the results of that research are accurate and fair and not to the advantage of the people sponsoring them?
Yes, thank you. So if the corporation who want to sponsor on the academic research, it is a fast food company, so they can do research like if they want to invest in the researching in the academic research on and then on a diet. So they need to find the ingredient or to create a new recipe for their company or their food to fix that it is a fast food, but it's not really impact to the people health. Thank you.
Can I give you another example? If a Cambodian researcher does a research on premier hair, and that research is paid by a Thai company, would you trust the result of that research or not?
By the Thai company.
The corporation that pays for the research is a Thai company. The research about premier, do you trust it or not?
It's based on it's based on those researchers. It's not all of those are Thailand, and not. It's based on those researchers and not all Thai. We need to mix it with Cambodian researcher and also Thai researcher, and we based on the true history. We cannot. I didn't mean that I'm not trust those people, but it should be fair. We should. The Cambodian researcher should go along with the Thai researcher and then do the research together, and then the result must be fair. Yes, thank you.